So hello and welcome back to JLP Services Inc. And I am picking up where we left off last time on the Box Jaw Tongs. And this is where we are at this point. See, the length is pretty good. Anyways, I like using 7/16 inch for the handles because I like some spring in them. So we're going to cover today is actually getting the reins welded on, the holes punched, the final cleanup, and the fitting together. Welcome aboard. Let's get at it. So for smaller size tongs, I actually like my handle length to be a certain length. And for the most part, they all kind of represent that same length overall. These ones are quarter inch, these ones are 5/16. You see the handle length isn't much different. I pretty much do that for all of my tongs up to about 3/8 of an inch. Once I get to 3/8 of an inch, I should say over, they get just a little bit longer. Now because these are box jaw tongs, you can see the jaws are longer. So I will actually make the handles probably just like an inch longer than what I have here. And for those that want to know, the overall handle length is right around 15.5. So these will probably be close to 16.5 or even 17. So again, starting out with 7/16 round. So we're going to start off with about 15 inches of length overall. Because when we upset, we're going to lose some of the material. So actually, we're going to go 14 and a half should work. So we're going to go 14 and a half, thereabouts, and then 14 and a half, and we're not going to cut this off while we're doing this. We're going to wait until after they're upset. So what I will do though is I'll cut off the very end, and then I will mark the middle. Either way around, doesn't really matter. Mark it first because it's more convenient. Now I'll just cut this off. When I'm cutting on the hardy, oh, that was terrible. And I go around. If I hit with the heel of my hammer, it won't bounce. If I hit with anywhere other than the heel of my hammer, the material will bounce up and down. So ideally I'm hitting with just this back part of the hammer. So now I'm going to upset about 3 inches worth, 2.5 to 3 inches worth. So what I'm doing now is actually upsetting at an angle. And you can see that angle how it was formed. That'll create the bottom here for the scarf root. And so what I'll do now is I'll just take it down here. Once there, times there. Okay, so I'm going to take one more heat. Do it one more time. So, in and out a little bit. Come back in the middle. we go. That's what it looks like. And so when this goes on top of each other, ideally you want it so either they actually blend together. So this needs to be nearly the same width as this. If it starts getting catawampus, it's actually naturally forming that scarfed surface. So you can see how it started pulling it out on the side and creating that angle all on its own. So what I can do is utilize that to good merit. Here. There we go. Lock that down a little bit. Taper it out. Like so. Come back in. There you have it. And I should take that one down just a little more. It's a little bit too short. So I'm now starting that the welding heat process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this, just make this just a little bit shorter. It's a little too steep before. You can see how there's a nice toe there now. Now I'll just give it a wire brush and put welding flux on it. If it didn't take, don't get discouraged, just clean it off and do it again. Doesn't help if you burn your hammer handle though. Go back in, so there you can see it's nicely welded there. Go back in for another welding heat. So you can see I'm starting to get a nice smooth transition. Take one more welding heat down here. You can see where the scarf hasn't quite been drawn in yet. pretty good. Now what I'm watching for is this area right here getting thinned out too much. And it's actually a little bit thinner than I like, so I'm actually going to upset it. So it'll actually come in and cool that part off, and then I'm going to take a better heat right here to upset it. So that's a pretty good heat. So it goes right in the vise, and I'm going to localize. We want to get that right about there. Now I'll upset just a little bit. It's a phenomenal way to test out your welds, too. One more heat should do it. Okay, I gained back all of the thickness and the width, but I want to gain a little bit more. Well, maybe I don't. Nah, that's good. Good enough. Not really. Okay, that works good there. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll actually cut this off and weld the other one. I don't need this extra length here for welding on the next jaw, so I'm going to get rid of it. Is it handy to have? Sure, it can be. Too cold. Again, don't be afraid to stop and come back at it, because if you don't stop and you keep going, you actually will just ruin the work that you've already done. So I didn't like the toe of that particular weld that much, so I'm actually just redoing that one. So I'm going to take a little more flux, put it back in the fire. I'm going to clean this one up just a little bit, see what's going on here. That works. Clean it up. Get rid of any of the oxidized scale. There we go, that's better. Oh man, I waited too long. Okay, one more time. Again, the whole thing is to have some patience and allow for it to unfold naturally. That was a good one. So here I'm just marking the overall length of the rein. We are on the money right now. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for all of these to be symmetrical. So in other words, this one to this one has to be symmetrical. And they have to be the same thickness, same width, same everything. So you can see that this one's a little bit wider through here still. So I'm going to actually take one more welding heat through here. So I want them to basically be the same thickness and same width. And that looks pretty good. Yep. Actually, I'm going to pop that up just 1 second. Go just a little bit thicker there. And for those of you that want to know, and the reason why I like my tongs, you can see that when I grip, you can see that they spring evenly. And that becomes one of the main tenets for me liking my tongs, is how they squeeze. Okay, gain back. Yep, that looks phenomenal. That looks phenomenal. Okay. Yeah, very good. Okay. So, now that that is done, we can actually move on to the joint part of this. And I actually will do just a little bit of refining right in here in the step with the half round, or I should say round file. I check my width is good, so I will do that now, because we actually gained a little bit of width in the jaw, so I'm going to take that down now. This one to work. It's rounded up nicely now right there. Now I want to come in and do the jaw side. That's good right there. And now just to take and adjust this one down a little bit more. You can see that the boss, well, where the boss is behind the pivot jaw. So all we're doing is trying to move the pivot boss up more for the jaw so that we have clearance. So if you look right now, you can see that this jaw has clearance, but this one does not. See how it's going to bang into it? So we need to make this a little bit shorter. Yep. Nice. Good. Okay, so here you have it. They are dressed. And now I will punch the hole.